but Jonas?
Available. Everybody's available. Doesn't happen very often.
Right, what's been the most impressive thing to you about Giannis' sort of evolution and what he's been able to accomplish this year?
First of all, I remember the first time coaching against him. I think we were there, and looking out there and being like, "Holy, he does some things," and I think that's the best way to say it. And he just keeps adding to it. Him in transition is like, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody like him. Obviously, LeBron is probably the guy that you would compare to with the size, the length, the speed, the ability to change direction and finish. And as he's continued to become more skilled, he continues to put in a worse bind. He's tough. He's good.
Coach, in an era where there's more small ball than probably ever before, how much more of an impact can a guy with size like that make?
Well, he plays what people would consider to be small ball because he's basically a point guard or a point forward for them, and he can handle it, he can pass it, he's shooting it pretty well, and the difference is when other teams go small, they put out guys with 6'5" and 6'7" wingspans, and he's 6'11" and whatever his wingspan is. So I mean, he doesn't, when they go small, they're still big and they have great speed, and that's quite a combination.
Each of the last 3 years, the Celtics have played better in the second half of the season as the season goes along. Why is that?
Well, I mean, I guess you're supposed to get better as the season goes on. There are factors that can, contribute against that or to that based on health being a big one, but teams can go through tough things and not be able to recover, and some teams are able to be galvanized by the tough things and come out of it. But there's you're just trying to do your very best to play as well as you can, so that to give yourself a chance to win, and sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. So I don't know if there's an exact reason why you get better as the season goes on, but I think the one year it was obvious because we added Isaiah and that group at the All-Star break, but this year we just kind of stayed the course. That's what we try to do. We don't change much day to day.
How much is it that since Avery's come back, you guys have been able to work with
I think that we've been able to do that some, but then, we've still had a number of games where we've been missing a major contributor, a top, 5 to 7 million a game player. So I still don't feel like we've really had much time with that group. So we'll see. Hopefully we not only can do that over the next 8 games, but then beyond.
What would you like to see from a group that maybe you haven't seen as much of as you like?
No, I think it's more about the whole team, not necessarily the group of 5. We're going to have starting 5's going to be out there a lot as long as they're available, and then but it allows you then to play with the whole team, and when you have injuries, your depth and ability to play different ways is affected. Sometimes you got bigs out, you have to play smaller. You can't go big as well. Sometimes when you have some of the smalls out, it really affects your ability to go small when you need to, like we did the other night. So I think that having everybody available allows you more flexibility in how you play.
Gershon expected to play for the Red Claws on Friday. Is there anything you guys want to see from him while he's in Maine?
Not really. I mean, compete at a high level and pick up things as well as you can. But it's so late that we know what Gershon can do, and I think this is a great opportunity for him. It's more for him to get the chance to be around Scott and his staff, be with Demetrius and Jordan, continue to pick up the NBA, some of the system stuff on both sides of the ball. So this is totally for him. It's not an evaluation thing for us.
He wasn't around the first time you played Milwaukee, but what does Khris Middleton bring to this team?
Yeah, I mean, it's different because Parker was, and then unfortunately, from everybody's standpoint, because he's such a good young player, he got hurt, but Middleton spaces the floor. I mean, he can run off screens and score. He's a really good scorer cutting off the ball. He's gotten better, I think, as time's gone on in pick and roll and with the ball. And then he's a knockdown shooter. And so they play lineups where they are really skilled around Giannis. And so I think that's had a big reason to do with their 12 out of 16 or 12 out of 15, whatever it is, win streak that they've run off. Because, there's times where he's on the floor with 4 spot shooters, guys that can really space the floor for him. Who do you help off of?
Brogdon's play surprise you? Is that
No,
something?
not at all. He has been a winner from day one, and so I am not surprised by Malcolm Brogdon at all. I recruited him a little bit when I was a Butler, and he's an impressive young man.
Coach, when you look at the seedings and everything's changing around in the East, how much do you and the players, really pay attention to that down in this last 8 games?
Well, I mean, our media will tell you that we get asked about it enough that we're paying attention to it.
You have to, right?
So, and some of our players have come out and said, hey, they pay attention to it. As I said on the radio today, when you look up at the practice facility, there aren't banners for what you did through 74 games. So it doesn't really matter. Where we are, where we will be a function of how we're playing. And there are a lot of things in that we can't control. We can't control the other 13 teams or 14 teams in our conference. So I just think at the end of the day, we're gonna just have to focus on us and playing well. We have enough challenge getting ready to play Milwaukee. We can't be worried about what happens on game 82.
Brad, is it kind of weird that the Bucks played in Charlotte last night? They haven't played them since opening night. Now, you guys haven't played each other either for a long time, and now you could be playing each other in the playoffs.
And just second time all year. So in a weird situation where we also play them on the last day of the regular season. I think again, I'm not as focused on who we might play or might not play in the playoffs, because there's one of the things I learned last year on the last day of the season. You never know until that last moment. And I think ultimately it is strange to be playing teams in the Eastern Conference this late in the year for only the second time.